Hello everyone and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 297. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2019, and I'm glad you could join me today. I have my black screen of death today. I'm all Ninjafied. Be like, where does the coffee cup begin? But really this is the teacup, so whatever. Such is life. I probably wasn't as productive as I thought I could have been. What it be? It's or whatever. Thanksgiving is now over in the United States, and so I ended up having a decent portion of the week off. So that was or what would it be? I do believe I am one of the memorable guests at Thanksgiving for all of the neighbors of my husband's aunt. Be like, I know her. She's the one who's always knitting. I was like, yeah, no, I'm just listening for blackmail material. Probably not, but whatever. I often do a lot more listening than talking, so I don't know. The irony of the podcast. Oh well, and the tea is delicious. It is the Sleepy Time Sinus Soother, because I can feel it. I'm back in Dallas. There's just something really refreshing about going to a place that doesn't have allergies. It's amazing. So, I'm thinking about whether or not did I finish the socks? I thought I finished the socks. What? Maybe I should show you the socks. I don't think I finished the socks last week, had I? We'll go with it. I feel like there's feathers everywhere. You probably can't see. I can't remember. But look. 2 toes. Finished socks. Totally different pooling on either sock. Ooh, the color's turning out pretty well right now. Maybe having a black background is a benefit. So I finished my grandpa's socks in the Volnisa Twin in the Dragon Blood colorway. The pattern is Jacka Regina Sada pattern. And I threw them in my bag to show interested parties for, what would it be? We had everybody happens to be in town at night on Wednesday. So it was crucial that I arrive at so-and-so time in order to make that. So, and because I finished those, I decided that it was finally time to start knitting the nephews, their little dragons. And these might be little. So what do you call a dragon with no legs, arms, or tail, but definitely a bottom? It's hard to tell. This is going to be such a pain to stuff. Just seems so tight. I just need to pull. Yeah, okay. This isn't terrible. I just need to give it more and more slack until... There we go. That doesn't seem quite so soul-sucking. I gave 2 fingers into it now. So this is the hole that I will stuff everything through. But this is Joris. It is Nita Wilshire, something like that pattern. This is actually the 3rd and 4th one that I'm knitting. So this guy is knit out of Undead Yarn, in the DFW Fiberfest colorway, so they used the logo of DFW Fiberfest, or Heidi used the logo of DFW Fiberfest to make this really cool speckly yarn. I'm really loving how that's knitting up. And then this one is being knit out of Sun Valley Fibers in the Rendezvous colorway. And so this is a short color when variegated, which has really crisp transitions between this white, blue, and teal. So, so I am part of the way through this one, and I really just need to sit down and power through the body. But I am knitting these guys at the same time so I wouldn't lose steam. And this was a decent portion of what I ended up working on. I think I cast on it the Wednesday night knit night. And for some reason this guy just seems smaller. I measured them against each other and that wasn't the case, so. Oh well, so I still have a decent amount of the body to go, but what would it be? So I have split for the arms on this guy. You can see like its little shoulders bursting out. But what would it be? I still have to get to the legs, and once you get the legs in, then everything seems to go pretty quickly. Okay. I was like trying to make this hole as big as possible. Okay. I think that'll work out. It's like, it was really tight. So it's very adorable. It seems like these guys are going to turn out a lot smaller unless I'm using a lot of yarn. Like I pretty much use the whole stupid skein of Mountain Colors when I knit my other two, so I feel like I'm gonna have like half a skein left over. I could have held this tripled. What's worth noting is the Mountain Colors is definitely more of a sport, but whatever. So I think they'll be cute. I think that they will be cute critters. Okay. I think that they will be very cute critters. And they seem to be traveling along nicely. I definitely pulled this one out to work on it. I think I had picked up all the stitches for the neck and immediately dropped the double point needle in a very hard place to get. Oh my gosh. You know, the moment you get on the plane, you're like, wonk, and it immediately went into the split that there was between the carpet and the side panels of the plane. So I tried fishing it out many different ways, and what ended up working was actually pulling out a pair of tweezers and gripping the tip of the needle so I could get it out of there after the plane was unloading. Luckily I had my double point needle set with me so I could keep on knitting, but I think I have lost double points down in that abyss before, so oh well. I didn't want to magic loop this, so that's fine. But I knew you guys would understand. It's not without danger. So these choices are going nicely. I'm keeping the project in the SSK bag. The SSK bag is pretty big though. It can fit a lot of stuff. So I have my little notions tin in here, which is why it's rattling a little bit. But I need to cut and thread an awful lot, so I'm just keeping a darning needle and my nail clippers in there to make it easy access. So the other project that got a decent amount of love was the boxy. I think I was still working on evening everything out when you guys last saw this, so I am now working in the round forever. And this crazy little needle here was I ended up buying a teeny circ to finish my vitamin D, and I knew that I would also be using it for my boxy, so that felt well justified. And then I was trying to figure out sleeve depth. So what it boils down to was that I knit too much, and so from here to here was how much extra I ended up knitting on one of the fronts. So I was measuring that out and trying to figure out that I got everything lined up with the seam and all of that, so that I could pick up, and maybe I will seam up before I pick up as well. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. I may do it the other way, but I did make sure that, or I was trying to make sure that I got everything as lined up as I could, and that both armholes were going to be the same depth, which was something I probably wouldn't have needed to worry about as much the other way. So I think at this point I'm good to go for finishing the pickup on this, and I may need to pick up with a smaller needle in order to make that work, but I did verify that it does seem to be the right depth, and so it'll probably be sitting somewhere around here, and I might make slightly longer sleeves on this one. It is, oh, you can see the halo on this. It's so fluffy. It's just like always slightly out of focus, but it's working up gorgeous. I may be like a little bit like a crazy bear, who knows. But so far, so good on the boxy. The only thing that's bumming me out right now is that, because I need to finalize the sleeves, that it's not really moving forward at the moment. So what's up next? And I reached a good stopping point. I had run out of my first ball of black. So I now have, I'm probably going to knit the sleeves out of this ball of black and whatever my most depleted ball of yarn is right now. We'll see what happens. Up. Okay. Close stuff. Oh gosh. Whatever. So, oops. Oh, this was such a silly choice, whatever. So, coming along fairly nicely. I definitely have a decent amount of yarn into this already. I'm still feeling good about my high-low hem plan, but I'm still very far from being able to implement said plan, so this will take some time. I'm like trying to figure out the best way of like containing this so that it doesn't come off the needles. I think that'll work for now. So, what is it? Because I had basically, or this is how much of the black I had, so I was very close to needing to incorporate another skein there. So far so good. Looking cute, looking good, but still quite a lot of knitting to go on this bad boy. And maybe it didn't end up getting as much love as it could have. The little stuffies were fairly engaging and probably a deadline anyways, so. Oh well. So I did play seat roulette and won at least a few times. I was it. As far as like the hierarchy of who you want to sit on in an airplane, not too bad for this trip. Or would it be like quiet child? Yes. What would it be? Exit row twice. Would it be? Unfortunately, I did get a bulkhead, so that meant that I ended up deciding to pull out my spinning project because I had plenty of room to spin, and then had a fairly entertaining conversation with the gentleman that I was sitting next to. So I did get a decent amount done on this guy. I got at least one more ball in, though as you can maybe see here, there's still quite a lot of fiber in here, so whatever, it will slowly but surely make its way forward. It's not like I'm running out of room on spindle. So this is my Bosworth MIDI, and I don't remember what sort of burl. But I've just been keeping this surrounded by fiber, and what I'm spinning is a wild onion bat. So this was something that I got for Tour de Fleece. The name of the colorway is Lemur. So it is blues, teals, purples, and browns, and greens. Can't forget the greens. And what you can see sort of on the outside right now is a decent amount of the browns and purples. Let's see if we can get it to snap in. There we go. Woohoo! I'd be like, excuse the ugly finger. Doop. So a little bit less greens coming through in this particular section, but it's been lovely to spin so far, and I've just been slowly but surely. My computer just wants all the attention today, doesn't it? So slowly but surely moving my way forward on that one. So I think I've been alternating between larger balls and smaller balls. And I did my typical thing where I took a bat and ran it through my diz. So that sort of gives me a nice little preparation to spin from. And sort of mixes up the colors a little bit as well. So that got some love. And then what ended up probably not getting very much love this week because I was out of town was my Jenny the Fleece spin. So I know I talked last week about my evil plan. Unsustainable. Unsustainable. But I'm really loving how this is looking. It is way warmer in real life. Like, this is like... It's just comical how bad the purple is. Yeah, no, this is none of the pink. Like, this is way pinker in real life. Like more like the pink of this ribbon going on here. Like, it's darker than that, but none of that pink is showing through. It's so weird. So, it's prettier in real life, I swear. So, this is my purple batch, which has a teal, a burgundy, and then this, whatever, sort of pinky purpley color to it. And the next one on tap is going to be some of my teal. So this is my portion of fiber per bobbin. So it's about 20 grams per bobbin, and it's really gorgeous. Maybe some of the subtle things maybe aren't coming through on camera, but it isn't solid colored. There are all sorts of interesting tones, and it reeks of citric acid. I can pull it out and be like, ooh. Not like, well, I know. There's like an aspect of citric acid about it, so this is gonna need to be washed well when I wash it. So I didn't really get very much additional washing after I was done dyeing it. So I'm assuming after I get my epoxy on track by picking up the sleeves, there will be some spinning that is going to occur, which will be lovely. So not too crazy this week. And if I ended up showing you the Grandpa Sock Classic, I'm sorry. I'll remember now. I must have finished them last week because I would have sent them. Now I need to figure out where I'm sending them, which will involve calling my grandparents, which isn't a big deal. It just is. Oh, I almost forgot. So whenever I see my mother-in-law, she always has a gift. And this time she ended up giving me a book that she ended up finding at Rhinebeck. So this is Knit Like a Local, I Knit San Francisco. So what ended up selling her on the book was the local yarn shop guide in the back. So, as you do. So she thought that was super duper cool. Would it be? And I am very excited about having a chance to go to a Verb for Keeping Warm, for sure. What is it? And there are several really cool shops in the area, so I can definitely see all sorts of cool things to go to. And then I have actually been to Imagine It, which is this one here. Will indicate with my nose. So, very excited about that. But there are also patterns on this as well. And I just thought this visual index was super cool. And I would say, what would it be? The head up here, I think, is my favorite pattern of the group. So it may be a little bit hard to show on here. We'll make it work. This one may be a little bit harder to show because it isn't super high contrast, but I just thought that was really cool looking hat. I would probably select slightly higher contrast yarns for it, but I just thought it looked really cool. I don't even, or would it be? I probably don't have that yarn in stash either. Oh well, such is life. But it was like a really neat sort of mosaic pattern, so. And then it sort of almost looked like seabirds and that sort of thing, so. Not that, in terms of hat supremacy, very much can dislodge my fiber optic one, but fiber optic one the second. As you do. So, pretty exciting week. 2 new cast knots of the same pattern, a lovely knitting book stash position, and my hilarious giant bin of Geneva fleece to spin. Overfloweth smell of citric acid. I ended up moving that inside because it seemed to be a little much to have a perpetual disaster in the living room. Now there's only a partial disaster, and that's not too crazy. So, pretty short episode this week, but I did cover, I think, everything that I wanted to talk about. What would it be? The only other thing that I need to tick off my list is getting some safety eyes for my Joris the Dragons, and totally spaced out on getting that today. Twice. Maybe tomorrow is a better day. Would it be binge watch The Boys on Amazon? That was very satisfying. And I bet by now the laundry's close to being done, so I will be able to record next week, and then after that the schedule gets super screwed up. It's possible that I may not, I don't know, we'll see what shakes out, but it's possible that, what would it be, I'll only get to podcast at the beginning and end of December. Oh well, that's what we get for holiday travel nonsense. Or weekday podcasting, that's also an option as well. So, I'll figure something out. It may make sense to do. It may make sense to do at least one, because otherwise that's going to be a long block of time. So, I think that is all the news fit to be dished. I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.